I was actually saying to my wife, I think Taiwan is a better place to live than the US. In China, I saw a guy on the street. People fall down, no one will help them. I don't want to live in a society like that.
可以先自我介绍吗？
大家好，我来自美国，在台湾也差不多15年，在一个衣服制造的公司上班。
Starting from the beginning, how did you get the idea to come to Taiwan?
Okay, originally in high school, I became interested in philosophy like 老庄思想, Zen Buddhism and whatnot, and then did study abroad program in Beijing. It's funny looking back, I had like anarchist kind of leanings. So I really liked Beijing because it was so like 乱七八糟. I was like, oh, this is awesome. No rules. You can drink on the street. Remember when I was really hot? We just like stripped down to our underwear and no one batted an eye. But that being said, after a while, we started to notice this guy seemed to be following us. We asked like, there's this guy that keeps following us. Like, yeah, this is a guy assigned by this school to keep you guys safe. It's like, okay. It's kind of interesting when I think back. When you encounter a large group of people that haven't really had opportunity for education, people are just like animals. You'd be on a bus and people are just like,
Wow.
你好. A lot of the 服务员, they're just like these girls that are just like in from the countryside, maybe 13, 14. Pretty eye-opening, the belief system with like China's great. Coca-Cola was invented in China. The piano was invented in China. The violin was invented in China. Like they took us to Xi'an, to like a rural like school, little kids and stuff. And I remember I looked down at one of them. They looked me in the eyes and I have blue eyes. I could just see their face just like drop. They were terrified. This must be a demon or something. Like what is Green to like ran away.
No.
Like, with like the differences between living in Taiwan and China. In Taiwan, I feel like if you speak Chinese, like there's very little acknowledgement that you're a foreigner, at least in my experience.
Yeah.
Whereas in China, like, oh, 你中文讲得很好啊. Oh, people will say that here, but it feels like a legitimate compliment. I had some friends in China. When I would go with him to meet some other friends, like he would always introduce me as his 外国朋友. It's like, they could probably see that I am a 外国朋友. I don't think it needs to be mentioned. Like
it's quite obvious.
Now, like, you know, I have a couple kids, often take them to the park and stuff. When we're speaking Chinese, multiple times I've had kids ask me, 你是外国人吗? And then I was like, 你觉得呢? And they're just like, oh, 你是英文人吗?
英文人?
英文人.
What does that mean?
I think it's kind of cool in that 外国人, people don't think about it this way, but it's like, by definition, you're defined as being an outsider versus like being an 英文人, you're just being defined by the language you're speaking.
Did you feel like it was easier or harder or about the same to make friends with Chinese people compared to Taiwanese people?
So this is interesting. It was much easier to make friends with guys in China. Taiwanese guys, like a clear animosity, not friendly or it's kind of hostile. Like my theory was that it's just competition type thing. I'm really not sure. One of the only Taiwanese guy friends that I had was a gay guy.
You ended up going back to the States and then you came here for some reason. And is there a reason that you came here instead of back to China?
At the time, for teaching English,
yeah,
the salaries were much better here. They're the same now as they were then. 50, 60,000. Even then, the only thing I knew about Taiwan before I came here was like it was an island and that it was democracy. Can also explain that my first stop in Taiwan was Keelung.
What was Keelung like back then?
Damp, dank, famela. A lot of gawking and like fair amount of the beetlehead. Like, hey, hello, hello. Hello actually doesn't mean hello. It means pay attention, especially from people trying to sell stuff. Hey, hey, hello, hello. And actually, which I've noticed, I've caught myself say that to people, or like to my kids, like when I was speaking on each other, hey, hello. I get myself confused
I can't do that, yeah.
I find it funny, like those few stock phrases in Taiwan that like for some reason everyone knows, and one of them being the, come on, baby. Come on, baby. In Taiwan, I was on one of these variety shows back in the day. I sang Wunu. It's actually a really crowd favorite. What's
this?
The blinking of the lights. Shan shan.
Yeah.
I sang that at my wedding with the introduction because, okay, you're singing a song about a prostitute at your wedding.
Yeah, what's going on?
Like, why? It's because I didn't know any Taiwanese. They asked me to be on TV the next day. I started to try to learn this song. I was like, oh no, this is hard. This is not Mandarin at all. Like, this is totally different. The woman who's my wife now, I'd met her already at this time. She helped me learn the song the day before I went on TV. I was in Keelung exactly 1 year as soon as my contract was up. I was out.
Then you said you moved to Wanhua.
Yes, deep in the heart of Wanhua, near 国菜市场.
Did you know what Wanhua was before you moved there?
No. But also, I'm moving there from Geelong. It's like, oh, this is nice. Like, it was still like, felt like a step up.
Then why did you decide to leave Taiwan the first time?
We went to China. Our plan was to start a school, like a hardcore foreign bushiban. I had been working with one of those here, learned the ropes.
Can you kind of describe what that system is? Because it's a minority of the style of bushiban.
Very like militaristic. The person who trained me was extreme end, a proponent of like get angry, like pound the table, pound the whiteboard. Like the teacher is the god in the classroom. Do not defy the teacher or the wrath of Tingxie will be rained down upon you. Very different than the foreign clown motif. The dancing monkey routine gets old after a while, you know. It was refreshing in that parents are in the classroom, so you can use Chinese in the classroom. A bit more serious.
Would you rather send your own kids to clown school or dictator school?
Clown school, actually.
Yeah.
What I've realized, hardcore bushibans is actually a test prep. And if you see the English test that they give them through the public education system here, it's a math test using English words.
True.
It has nothing to do with anything functional. Purposefully, like tricky, like grammar rules that even as a native English speaker who is taught English had to like sit and think about. Even now, like I remember looking online after the test came out, just like they're just wasting all these kids' lives.
You're going to open up a hardcore bushiban in China. How come you guys were going to do it there, not here?
Figured here was saturated. It was a bit ambitious, but we're like, okay, this works here. Like this will probably work in China. We started something in the basement of a YMCA, but as an authoritarian government, education is tightly regulated. Our Chinese partners were like, I don't think we'll be able to get a license. Like, okay, like, I'm gonna put all this time in to build an illegal school. And also in China, I have actually talked to multiple foreigners who have started businesses with local partners. Once the business started making money, they're like, okay, thanks, you can leave now. This is China. The rule of law is more pliable.
So you moved to Beijing to try to open the school?
Yeah.
That didn't happen, so then you moved to Kunming?
Yeah, that was the only place in China at the time we could find where they could give us a student visa and we could design our own class. We didn't want to have to write Chinese characters. We had this older guy from Beijing like playboy type, like he was always aviator, like transition lenses, like hair slicked back. In class, we'd smoke cigarettes. It's like talking about hobbies. He would go back to his cabinet and he'd like pour us like whiskey. We would like take shots of whiskey or baijiu, 10 in the morning. Like he would have us memorize and recite 绕口令. 知是禅, 那是禅, 禅常在仓内, 夜里藏. Might be good for a lot of Taiwanese people to practice on. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Whoa.
是不是?
Nah, because there's a certain amount of cognitive dissonance that you need to live there as well. And again, Kunming, 四季如春, Kunming doesn't get cold. Even though it was snowing, it was literally freezing. They denied objective reality because 四季如春, Kunming 不会冷. You're wearing a really
like
thick
a down
coat.
jacket.
Why are you wearing? 这个没关系啊. After a time, I would notice a lot of like social scripts. Men over 50. 哦，你中文讲得还不错，你应该开始学一点中国历史吧。5000年的历史。中国历史很悠久，知道吗? That's a natural segue to somewhat sensitive conversation. Once you mention you used to live in Taiwan, then they're like, oh, like Taiwanese people want to be part of China, and so you tell them like, actually not really. Like sometimes the reaction would be pretty strong. One girl I was talking to, she started crying. She refused to believe us, I think. It was just, she was disturbed by that.
You also said you worked at a TV station.
Yeah. 云南电视台. It was kind of like a travel show. Basically, I got beaten up by a Shaolin monk. I got picked up by an elephant. I was in a cage with a lion, but then at one point it started like frantically running back and forth. This was not supposed to be happening. I was in talks to have my own show.
Oh, whoa.
But I was just kind of fed up with China and it's like, all right, get out of here. In China, it's kind of like a pirate type society in terms of like to get what you need, you have to be very aggressive. 一定要抢. You'll be in line, someone will just cut right in front of you and then they'll serve that person.
Did you ever notice yourself cutting in line?
Oh, of course. That's what I didn't like. Like those are the rules of engagement just to live there. So then you have to become like that as well. And I remember asking people why. Then I had someone tell me this story about the snake. So there's like a guy, he sees a snake and he feels bad for the snake. He wants to save it, puts it in his shirt, it warms up, and then it bites him and it's a poisonous snake and he dies. This is like a common story in China about why you shouldn't help people. It's actually true because it happened to me. An old guy was like riding a bicycle and he fell off the bicycle like right in front of us. And when we were trying to help him up, police came by. Like, why? Like what's going on? Like, what are you guys doing? Why did you knock this old guy off? I was like, wow. We were like, no, like he just fell down. Like we're trying to help him up. But luckily, there was other like bystanders, like Chinese people. He didn't say anything.
Oh my God.
I don't want to live in a society like that, where like if someone falls on the street, you can't help them up. Maybe around this time, I saw a guy on the street. He was a homeless guy. There was like the hotel we were staying at, and I saw the guy laying there like the first day. I saw him again the second day, like the same position. The third day, I was kind of went a little closer. Guy was starting to think like, as a foreigner, if something happens to me, I'll be left for dead. There'll be no one here to help me. It's like, okay, time to move on.
So then you went home and you started working for a research company?
Yep, they were looking for someone who could read Chinese. The company was spun out of Forbes magazine Rich List, creating a database of the wealthiest people in the world who have a net worth of 30 million US dollars, excluding primary residents. So yeah, doing research on rich Chinese people. The main customers, private wealth managers at banks, nonprofits looking for donations, people selling private jets, people selling yachts. It's a pretty cool business model actually, because there's global reach. So it was later on moved to Singapore, then Guangzhou, and then Kuala Lumpur.
Somehow you ended up back here.
Yeah, I was in KL, getting into my early 30s. The woman who's now my wife, we actually met each other in like 2005, sort of just reconnected. We decided to make a go of this thing called love. Came back to Taiwan for love.
For love. Aww. Yeah. So did you know that you'd be working in the family biz when you came back?
I mean, it was sort of a later development. I had already decided to come back. She pitched it to me 12 years later, still in it. The stronger benefit is going to trade shows, sales situations, interacting with foreign customers is probably the value add, I would say. I haven't really met any other foreigners doing the same thing that I'm doing. None, which like really surprised me. I thought there would be at least a few. I guess maybe the stars need to align in that pretty much only going to work if it's a family business. Bigger companies, a lot of them, they have agents that work with them in the US or Europe, but I feel it's very different. They're not like working in Taiwan. I'm actually here.
You also mentioned that this kind of business has its difficulties. It's tough.
It's not an easy business to be in. Basically, it's contract manufacturing. So it's kind of like, I have a friend here who works in tech manufacturing. The challenges he faces, and like, it's very similar to the stuff that we see. I've heard my wife, like 琐碎的东西, like it's very like, you want to say trivial, but unfortunately they're not. All of these small details are vitally important. Like the hang tag on a piece of clothing. There's maybe 15 parameters on this. The card, like what's the size, what's the width, what's the thickness, what's the material, what's the hardness of it, what's the finish, the color. Then there's the print on it, the content of the print, the material of the print, the quality of the print, the size of the print. And that's just the tag. It's just like, like this is not what I want to do. Like, manufacturing of physical products, there's really no such thing as a 0% defect rate. Where the defect will occur, there's no way to know. My father-in-law, he's been doing this for 40 years, and we'll encounter stuff that he's never seen before. Our factory in Bangladesh, there are these type of special markers. They're from Japan, where you can mark it, and then once you iron it, it disappears. Later on, we get a claim, our customer in Germany, they send us a picture like, oh, all of these clothing, they have these red marks on them. And it turns out that those markers, if they're in temperatures like below 0, like it is in Germany, it reappears. It's just like, there's a lot of unfavorable dynamics in the apparel industry in particular. It's naturally driven to countries with the lowest labor cost. Countries with the lowest labor cost naturally will be least developed. We have a factory in Cambodia that we're working with, so it was like going back and forth to Cambodia. A couple years back, there was big news in Taiwan. Taiwanese gangs, Chinese gangs.
People getting kidnapped and like human trafficked.
Yeah. On that flight from Taiwan to Phnom Penh, you see guys, they fit the profile like Babajo, like it's just black tats. They have like nothing with them, just like that pouch bag or like a cell phone. and like they're just like, and you can see like some of them they're like getting a bit twitchy.
Oh, like they need their fix of whatever they like.
Yeah.
Was Taiwan ever that place, and is that why these kind of businesses are here?
Yeah. When my father-in-law just started in this industry in the 70s, China hadn't opened up at that point. A lot of the manufacturing, clothing manufacturing, was done in Taiwan at that point. Where he's from in Yunlin, there's a lot of fabric and clothing produced there. As I said, when I was a kid, I remember a lot of my toys and pencils were made in Taiwan.
Would you hope that your kids would take over the family business one day?
Ted, what's the world going to be like in 20 years?
I know,
you answer that
I know
question.
What's going to be like.
You answer that question for me, and I'll.
This isn't about
tell you.
This isn't about me.
Would not recommend. This is the problem. Even if maybe you don't love it, it's a successful business. It still works. Business was booming during COVID. Then there was a period after COVID, the Fed raised the interest rate, inflation hit, there were just no orders. We were considering to move to the States. It's much easier to get new customers if we're there. Luckily, in some sense, we stayed. We went back this Chinese New Year. She was nervous because of the whole ice thing. My wife technically is a foreigner. I was actually saying to my wife, I think Taiwan is a better place to live than the US. Guns are rampant in the US. Aggressive society versus Taiwan. It's safer here, especially with like younger kids. It makes me laugh sometimes still. Like a couple nights ago, me and my daughter are walking back. A nice like Porsche pulls up, still running. They both go into 7-Eleven. I'm just like, me being American, I'm almost tempted to just take this car.
Thanks for sharing.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Sure.